When I got recommended Arcane, League of Legends, I literally...
You serious?
Then I was like, alright, let me watch one episode. Then I watch another one. And another one. And another one. And another one. And boom! I actually finished Arcane, or should I say Arcane finished me, cause damn, how was a show I discovered 1 week earlier has completely destroyed my mental health? So I want to talk about why Arcane was so impactful, and also some critiques that I know everyone has noticed when they first watched it. And disclaimer, spoilers, obviously spoilers. So Arcane starts out with two orphan sisters, Vi and Powder, who lost their parents after a rebellion from two sides of a country, the rich and wealthy called Piltover and the poor slums of Zorn. Now one of the many things that I love about Arcane is that it does character development so naturally, because you can see how the environment and the personal tragedies that happen to the characters influence the way they think. Now Powder's constantly need for approval led her to her biggest downfall, because when she tried to help, she accidentally killed two of her best friends, Milo and a fat guy, I don't know the name. I forgot, okay? I forgot. Which eventually leads Vi to abandon her and also give the meanest right hooks on earth. What the hell? That shit sounded painful, which leaves her vulnerable to the hands of Silco, a evil underground mafia boss of Zorn. Now just season 1 act 1 of Arcane already brings so much to the table, from character designs to side characters to character arcs to that bloody animation. Just look at it, it's so nice. Now the art style for the show actually changes so much, but not in a bad way, because it actually blends in with the main animation style that they use. For example, during Jinx vs Ekko fight, which was the hardest scene of all time by the way, they use 4 frames per second and they use like a watercolor art style, and 4 frames per second is a reference to his League of Legends power 4-second rewind or something, which does come on season 2. But yeah, they use a lot of graphics to foreshadow and add small little details that just makes the show a lot better. Now I want to move on to my next point. The fucking side characters slap. Now I don't think I ever disliked any character in the show except for Jinx in season 1, okay, because I don't care. PTSD or trauma is not justifiable reason to become a terrorist. But moving on to the villains, where you can see exactly where they come from Silco, who wants Zorn's independence as her own country, but he actually gives up the opportunity to save Jinx because he values her like his daughter, which I fucking love by the way, because it actually adds humanity to his character, and he's not just some evil villain dude who is evil just because he likes being evil. Like, there is a human side to him, and I bloody love that, and I bloody love how they made a villain feel so relatable. And another villain I fucking love is Victor, and oh my god, you can actually see slowly the way he thinks, and I don't think Victor ever did an quote-unquote evil act, because you can see slowly how he thinks humans should progress and how he can attain that, and he also becomes a little bit drunk from the power, and also his voice is really soothing for some reason. Is it just me?
To build instead of destroy.
Feels like I'm meditating every time I listen to him. But moving on. Season 1 ends with Jinx starting a whole revolution for Zorn against Piltover because she fires her missile to the council of Piltover. And season 1 concludes. And if you think season 1 was a perfect show, season 2 is a perfect show. Now I'm not going to say the entire plot of season 2 because firstly, I'd want you to watch it, and secondly, it's going to take way too long, okay? But I do want to point out some of the parallels because I think Arcane does parallels really good. For example, season 1 episode 1, and at the start of episode 1, Vi catches Powder from falling, and the very last episode of season 2, Vi catches Jinx from falling again. It just shows that even after everything that they've gone through, their sister relationship hasn't gone anywhere and that they still love each other, which is a small detail that I love, I can't lie. And another parallel is that initially, before Victor got drunk from his power, he says,
"There is always a choice."
But after when he got his powers and he started getting a little bit drunk from it, he says,
"People deserve to choose their own fates."
Choice is false.
This is another small parallel which shows that this is not the same Victor we saw in season 1, but a completely different one because his ideologies have changed. And these little small details is just what makes a show great. But let's talk about the actual problem with this show, and I think everyone who watched the show has one problem that they notice, which is it feels so rushed. If they took more time to actually flesh out the characters, the death scenes, the impact of the sacrifice would hit so much harder. For example, let's talk about Isha's death, which is a sad scene, but I feel like I became sad because Jinx Jinx would become sad, not that Isha's actually dead. And if they took more time to show interactions between Jinx and Isha, to fully develop their characters and to show that Jinx is changing back into Powder, it would have like a complete character arc for them. And another critique that stems from the rushing of the show is that some of the character arcs feel unfinished, or like there's gaps in some of the character arcs. For example, I looked at a lot of the deleted scenes that were cut from the show, and in Act 1 of Season 1, apparently Ekko tries to go to Powder / Jinx to save her, but Jinx doesn't want to be saved. And it would make more sense in the bridge scene where she calls him boy savior. And I don't exactly know the reason they cut it, but that would tie so well at the end of Season 2 where Jinx and Ekko go back together, which would complete the character arc so well. But I don't know why they cut it. Like, this actually infuriates me. And another character arc that I feel like there's gaps in, and I feel like I'm the only one who has ever thought this, is when Vi and Jinx are in the tunnel and they're arguing, but I feel like they should argue more. I feel like the differences at the time didn't actually resolve and it just magically transformed into happy, lovely, dovey sister relationship. They should have had a bit more arguing, a bit more fighting, and finally they resolved their differences or conflicts. And I'm pretty sure I am the only one who feels that way, so I don't know. I'm not exactly sure how I feel about the entire scene, but that's only a small percentage in the show, so it doesn't matter that much, but you can notice it sometimes, which sucks because this show had the potential to become a god tier show, but it is good nonetheless. I rate it 9.5 out of 10.